What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Above Ground Music Radio Podcast. And Joseph's already making faces over there. I am the host, Richard Radillo, joined by the little boy himself, Joseph Melendez, right? That's how you say your last name? Did I say that right?
No one's ever called me the little boy, but yes.
I always like, because the way I met you, but we'll talk about that real quick after we do intro. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Above Ground Music Radio Podcast. Last week I said Above Ground Radio Podcast. I forgot the music part. And I said like a lot, so I'm going to apologize. I'm not going to say like as much, hopefully.
I probably will say like a lot.
You're fine with saying like. It's okay. But it's
Like.
all about me not saying like as much because I do this a lot.
Yeah.
But welcome here, Joseph. It's nice to have you. I'm really happy that you agreed to do this just because, like, you're a cool person and I want to talk to you about stuff and let the world know about you.
I'm not crying. I just have something in my eye.
Okay, good. But before we actually get into the podcast, we tell you what we do in the podcast. We showcase 4 awesome bands, which is going to be one of your songs off your latest record that came out. And then we also shoot the shit. We just talk, have fun. So the first song of the podcast, I got to burp, Jesus. Sorry, is the Azmatics with one-word sentences off of your latest record.
First record.
Oh, it's your latest one.
And our first.
I thought technically the other ones were.
They were EPs.
Okay.
And demos.
They're really long EPs.
No, they're all like 6 songs.
That's like a lot.
I guess our album's 10 songs.
Okay. But anyways, Breathe, right? That was the Breathe.
Breathe this.
Breathe this.
Breathe this! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
Inhaler. Enjoy the song. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Wasn't that a good song? That was such a good song.
I mean, I wrote it. So
Oh, okay. You gotta like push. Speak into the mic a little.
I wrote it, so duh.
Yeah. Okay, duh. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Just kidding. It's the worst song on this podcast so far.
No, it isn't. We don't have any worse songs. They're all good.
Except for mine.
Okay. No, it's not. Anyways, You are in a band, obviously, like we've already mentioned before. You're in the Azmatics, and going back to how we met was interesting because we met at Arlen Plays Art Gallery.
It was his birthday yesterday.
It was his birthday.
Or
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah, because John told me like, "Oh, it's Arlen's birthday." I was like, "Yeah, I know." But anyways, how we met was like the funniest like story because I thought Jacob was older and you were the younger one.
That's been the story of my entire life.
Yeah, and that was funny. You're like, why do people can say like it's always the way you and your brother interact. It's like how I love it. And then like you always look at each other like, why does everyone keep on saying that or something like that? You know what I mean? It's like the weird 1-2 combo that you and your brother are. And Jacob's like, yeah, people do say that a lot. Or something like it was like something like that where
Jacob will bring up like that time when you were at your middle school and we were registering for school and the teacher came up to you and she came up to me, Jacob, and she's like, okay, let's go get registered. I'm like, wait, no, he's in like the 3rd grade. I'm the one.
Yeah.
It's like that's just, you know what I mean?
I think it's just you have the baby. You have more of the baby face, I guess, which is a good thing. Because I feel like I have a baby face sometimes, but not really. I think it's because I just have a big head.
Me too.
But no, Jacob just looks. Not that he looks older. He just looks.
Carries himself more.
I guess
He's not as goofy as I am. I mean, he's goofy, but he's not as goofy as I am.
I don't know. It's a weird way of looking at it. It's cool how we met and everything. Because like that's the night. I think I met you guys another show before that.
Before Arlen's?
Yeah. No, you played there before. I didn't really interact with you guys.
We didn't.
And then that was the second time. That's when I was on the comedy stage, and then I was up there like moving the mics. I was like, I want to have a conversation with these guys because these look interesting. Like I didn't talk to them last time, so I'm gonna have the balls to talk to you guys. That's what happened, and then we hung out that night.
Now we're here.
Yeah, and now we're here. We've almost known each other for almost 2 years now.
Yeah, about actually this month, right?
Maybe, yeah.
It wasn't the first show we played with at Arlen's was in October of 2016.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
That was.
Even though we're supposed to be promoting stuff right now, but it's okay. But it's good. It was cool, like to reflect on that.
Reminisce.
Yeah. But anyways, we are gonna have a show for the background music at Beatnik Bandito on October 19th, and you guys should all go there. It's gonna be $5. We're gonna have the captain's son from Long Beach, which they're actually from Missouri, and then we're gonna have Scatterbrain.
They're from Long Beach, Missouri.
They're from Long Beach, Missouri. Yes. We're gonna have Scatterbrain, who I think they're from Garden Grove.
Probably.
Yeah, I would think they're from Garden Grove.
Let's just assume that everyone's from Garden Grove.
Yes.
Except for 3LH.
That too. And then we have Valley Rats, who are from Santa Ana, and then the Midnight Softies from Santa Ana as well. Cool bands. So yeah, there you go. Is there anything you want to promote besides you can promote any shows that have come up after the 15th of October?
We don't have any shows right now.
Okay.
But listen to our album on Spotify, The Azmatics, TheeAzmatics on Spotify or Apple Music or Bandcamp
What about your social media?
or SoundCloud.
Like your Instagram, you want to promote your
Deezer.
Instagram?
We're on Deezer.
You're on Deezer? I don't know what that is.
It's another streaming platform.
Really? Is it good?
I don't use it, but we're on there.
You're on. Okay.
What's the one Kanye West did?
With Jay-Z?
With Jay-Z, like Jack White.
Khaled or something like that, or
Khaled's a dude.
No. I think it looks like Khaled or Nod or Node.
Whatever the one that the musicians made, that's the one we're on to.
Oh, you're on that one too?
We're on all of them.
Dang. Anyway, do you want to promote your social media, like your Twitter or your Instagram?
Our Twitter and Instagram are The Azmatics, TheeAzmatics. We post on our stories a lot. We don't have a lot of posts on our account unless we have a show coming up or a reason to post something. But we like to go to shows and put the bands we see on our stories. Or George will just put some nonsense on there, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
So.
And then we'll talk about that. That's going to be one of our topics later on about what we did last night. Also, let you guys know.
Want to talk about that?
Yeah, we're going to talk.
We're going to talk about what we did last night, Richard?
Okay, yeah, we're going to talk about that too, yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you also, to mention that you guys can promote any of your future shows in the podcast ahead of time. I know I'm going to promote, like, Joy Noise is going to have their EP release record on November 2nd, the day after they release that EP. I believe. I'm not sure
Yeah, I
it's a
think it
song.
comes out on the 1st.
Yeah, it comes out on the 1st and the next day. I don't remember where it's going to be, but I know it's there. So go check it out. Check out Joy Noise on Instagram.
Where is it?
Somewhere in like Costa Mesa, I think.
Yeah.
But are you guys planning on that?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Also to Armando Silver Words, I'm going to have your song next week. So if you want your songs on the podcast, hit me up in the Above Ground Music Instagram. It's all Above Ground Music. And then also, if you want to promote your shows, hit me up on there as well. And if you want to be on the podcast, hit me up. I can schedule it like I've scheduled with this young man right across from me, and ahead of time, and we'll get you on and promote your stuff. I think that's it, right? There's something else we need to talk about to promote?
No.
Okay, good. Let's get into the next song because that's what we're here for, the music. And it's going to be one of the bands that are going to be playing at the next Above Ground music show. It's the Captain's Son, Mind, Body, and Gold.
You look like a heathen telling me right now all the wrong things. Can hear you screaming, you can shout so loud. Oh, say that I am lazy and a little confused. I need a breakthrough. My only one is only wanting you. Well, it may sound absurd, maybe every single word. Is it just me? Once what I knew, it had a meaning too. Well, awake in the morning, first thing I'll do. It's a strange thing, without warning, start to think of you. Oh, you're a broken light that's got a million bright shines. Can I please mend your fuse? Torn between side, I'm not absent in mind. I can tend to your many moods. Oh, well, I was excited, I was ready to go. Ain't nothing like the real thing when you make it on down that road. Oh, the only time you dream of sins is when you sleep. It's a strange thing, you have reasoned all your reasons away. You can go now, oh, you can go now. Oh, you're a broken light that's got a million bright shines. Can I please mend your fuse? Torn between side, I'm not absent in mind. I can tend to your many moods.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. That was the Captain's Son, Mind, Body, and Gold. Actually, I think it's one of my favorite songs that came out this year. I just love the way it opens. And kind of just Paige, who is the singer of that band, kind of just talks to you. And just like, I feel it from like my head all the way down to my balls.
Not your feet?
No, my feet are irrelevant.
Okay.
It's all about the balls.
I was just saying off camera. seen those dudes a few times, and they're all very talented and really enjoy them.
Yeah, they're super nice too. Like you would like when I first met them. I'm always a little prejudiced on like looks. I'm like, oh man, these guys are gonna be douchebags. But like, no, they're super nice.
I've definitely done that a bunch of times where I'm like, this guy's probably a dick, and then it's like the nicest person ever.
Yeah, they're so nice. No, they're like some of the nicest guys in the scene or that I've met. And how they do the same thing like you and like other bands do, like go to other shows that they're not even playing, and like they go and check it out, introduce themselves. They're really like they're gentlemen.
That's very important, because like if you're that guy that wants to play show, like there's so many bands that are like, oh, put us on your show, like, and they'll hit you up in the DM, but like they've never seen you, they've never like talked to you in person, like.
You never even seen them either. Too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't want to put you on this show. I'm not going to ask to put you on this show that I'm not even throwing just because you asked me in the DMs.
Yeah.
Like, so it's important to actually make friends. That's how I think a lot of our friends' bands and us have managed to keep playing so often, is because we've made friends with people, actually talking to them. And
yeah. And I think it's also because I read an article about that, and that was like 10 things that bands need to do, and it's go to other shows and introduce yourself. That's like the most important thing to do.
It really is.
Because I don't like the expectation or entitlement where like, I'm in a band, we're good, we should play shows. I'm like, that's like, no, that's not how it works. You have to be human, you have to be social. You can't just talk on social media, because sometimes that feels like it's not real in a way. Because I definitely gotten bands. Not that I say like any band that hits me up on Bugground like to get shows, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try to fit you in. But if I have no shows available, I just don't have anything available. So, bam. Let's get into some topics. You sent me 5 things you would like to talk about, but we're also gonna talk about other stuff that I written down that I sent you, and the reoccurring question later on. But what was the one I was gonna talk about? Oh yeah, what do you listen to right now? Because you sent me a cool song yesterday to play on the podcast, but I can't play it. But what do you listen to right now?
What am I listening to? I don't listen to, like, I know in the last one with Jeff you asked him what's his favorite album of 2018. I'm kind of I don't listen to,
you don't listen to new stuff?
It's not that I don't listen to new stuff. It's just like I always find like an old band that I'd never heard of, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Like there's this band I've been listening to a lot that Jacob and I have been listening to a lot. Excuse me. They're called the Exploding Hearts. They're from Portland, Oregon, and they all died in a car crash together.
Wow.
Except for one of them.
That's crazy.
And they put one record out. There's like a compilation of other stuff they did, but there's pretty much only one album, and it's like every song on that album from start to finish is just, I think it's like a hit. Like it's like every song is just a banger.
So good.
Every song is just like great. I've been listening to that a lot. There's another band from Atlanta, Georgia called the Carbonas. I don't know how to say it. Again, they're alive. They're alive, but they put one record out like 10, 11 years ago and then kind of broke up and never really put anything else out. They're releasing a compilation of like, it's like 40 songs that they just didn't release.
That's sick. And
so that's coming out this month. So I've been listening to their first record a lot because that's another one of my favorite records. The song I sent you, Graining Ghosts, they just released an EP.
Yeah, that just came out like October 9th.
That was like, it was like a few days ago, so it's not that far.
I really enjoyed what you sent me though. I was just as soon as, because I don't Spotify, but the Spotify does the preview, and as soon as I saw, I was like, okay. I went straight to my iTunes and like looked them up and then downloaded like everything they had. Yeah,
they're a really good band. They've been releasing EPs. They did one last year and they've done 2 this year so far. And the first song on the latest one has been my favorite song right now. Yeah. What else? Supremo came out this year.
Yeah, Supremo came out this year.
I really enjoyed 3LH. The NARS was NARS this year?
Came out last year? Came out the very end of last year. It came out like I think right before New Year's.
Yeah.
But it was like basically 2018.
I really enjoy the NARS. Not Joy Noise.
Okay.
I love you, Koch. I'm just kidding. They didn't release anything this year either,
they released a single in the beginning of the year.
But they didn't do their EP came out last year.
Yes, the
Ringworm. Is that the last thing they released?
The last EP. The before that was On My Way Out, the EP.
I thought On My Way Out was, I don't know.
No, that was really like a single. That was a single.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so they've done a couple singles.
I think because at the tail end of last year, they were like they were thinking about they had that issue with like changing their name because they were Bloom, obviously.
Yeah.
And like they had to
kind of
think
rebrand
about-
and
yeah,
redo
rebrand
everything.
and I think that's when they released the last single before they're gonna come out next month. Obviously, we promoted their show, but before
I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything, but Koch sends me little demos, or not demos, but little rough mixes here and there, and what I'm hearing is really great.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for the whole thing.
Jeff's been showing me stuff too on his phone, and I always like it when like I appreciate it when bands do that.
Yeah.
Because he's done it. You guys sent me like the whole record. Oh, even though I was like there for some of it for recording, and I knew some of their songs, I just like finally hearing it. Almost developed.
Yeah.
Fully developed into like the master. It's pretty cool. I know John sent me some stuff with the NARS. You remember the Goons?
Yes.
I'm not sure if Juan sent me some cool. Actually, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say that. But Juan, my bad. Sorry, Juan. If you're listening, I apologize. But that song you sent me was really awesome.
The song he didn't send you was really awesome.
The song you didn't send me was really awesome. But yeah, when bands do that, I've had a couple bands do. I'm forgetting other bands, but I get not a lot, but I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like I feel like
that's why I feel
cool.
very fortunate to be legitimate friends with bands I like, because we just send each other like demos and rough recordings of what's gonna be on our future stuff. So like I got to hear Supremo it was like the day or two before it came out, but we got Rafa sent me a link to it. Pretty sure John sent me something kind of recently.
Yeah, they played a new song last night. But I remember I think it was Klepto when they were actually developing. I went over to the house and hung out, and Richard, we're gonna play a new song. Tell us what you think. I was like, oh, dude, are you serious right now? I'm like front row, and like my favorite band's like playing right in front of me. Like this is awesome.
Dude, they're great.
Yeah.
All their songs are just so awesome. Love the NARS.
And then when you sent me your Richard, don't show this to anyone. Secret link. I was like, oh yes, yeah. And then I was like bragging to everyone. Hey, did Joseph send you the new Azmatics record? Like, no. I'm like, I guess he's not your friend.
Oh wow.
No, I didn't say. I was like, oh, that sucks. I can't send you the link because he told me not to share this with anyone. But I'm listening to it.
You gotta be careful with that too, because you don't want to show too many people, especially if you have 5 friends that listen to your music. You gotta make them wait.
Yeah, but I was listening to that I was listening to regular music, and I was I really want to listen to that Azmatics record right now, and I was putting it on YouTube, listening through YouTube, which I think is weird, but it was awesome. And then now I just listen to it regularly on its regular music format on iTunes. I don't know. I probably had the most listens.
Richard made us a whole 5 cents with all his streams.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. I think for a week, because I do DoorDash and I listen to podcasts and music. Once I'm done listening to all the podcasts I listen to that day, I listen to whatever I want. And for almost 3 weeks there, I listened to your album once a day.
Stop.
I wasn't lying. I'm not lying. So you got at least probably over 20 something listens through the whole album back to front. There's probably a day or two there where I cycled back to it. I listened to it one time, and then at the very end of my shift, I will listen to it again for some reason, because I'm I'll just put it on.
I do that with other records, but I appreciate that you do it with my record.
Yeah, I want a vinyl of the record.
I do too.
I really want I want the NARS, I want Joy Noise, I want.
We
some
should all
3LH.
just put in together to make a split vinyl. I think all of our stuff is short enough to fit two of us on one side, two of us on the other side. I always do this without thinking, but Joy Noise, the NARS, and 3LH, I consider them the tightest bands we're with right now.
Yeah.
And so whenever I mention bands that we're really good friends with, those are usually who I'm talking about. Those guys.
Even when Def Leppard released that stuff, their latest EP, I was like, man, I wish they did a vinyl of this.
Oh my god! They keep saying every time they do something oh, we're gonna do it on vinyl.
I'm like,
we're gonna do it, and then
get done this shit right now, dude.
Part of me is I hope they do, but part of me is also they're not gonna do it.
Yeah,
they're not gonna do it.
Because I know Fake Tides when they were Fake Tides, they did a vinyl 8-inch.
They did.
Yeah, but it was a short print. and whatnot.
I didn't know that.
And I was gonna hit up Lewis. Was like, hey man, how much do you still have any of those left? Because I'll buy your personal one off because I really enjoyed that record that they I forgot what it's called, but I like just put it on and just like relax. It's really nice. And I always ask them whenever I book them when they were Fake Tides, like, can you play this song? They're like, no, we don't play any of those songs anymore. I was like, no, don't do this.
They're a whole nother band now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, those guys are awesome. Let's get into one more song, and then we're gonna get back into topics, which is cool. So the next song is another band that's gonna be playing at the next Above Ground show. It's Scatterbrain with one of their older songs, Sorority Girl. Enjoy.
You're broken, so broken. You gotta think this life thing through. You're toking for days on end, drawing blanks on what to do. The world just keeps on turning while your fucking stomach keeps on churning. Your passion on the inside that keeps burning. All you wanna be is a better person. You're drunk and you're feeling, you're feeling so defeated. Your head's through the ceiling, you're looking for a reason. The world just keeps on turning while your fucking stomach keeps on churning. Your passion on the inside that keeps burning. All you wanna be is a better person. Sorority girl in a horror-filled world. Don't lose a grip, girl, in a horror-filled world. Sorority girl in a horror-filled world. Don't lose your grip, girl, I can't seem so absurd out.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. That was Scatterbrain. I know I've had this two same bands on the last two podcasts, but that's because I'm promoting my next show. And also, those two bands are awesome, and they're very nice gentlemen, and you should go check them out.
I just want to add that you guys really should go to Richard's show because he will cry if you don't. Like, tears.
I will.
Like, it's really sad.
Like,
just go.
If you don't go and support my friends and their band, then you should, like, die in a hole. No, I'm just kidding. That's not nice.
He's not kidding. You heard it here first, folks. Richard is not kidding.
I'm not kidding. Anyways, Perry, I think, is going to be the first person from that band I'm going to have on the podcast, hopefully. Shout out to Perry or Nathan. They're both two good-looking gentlemen. Or Ethan. Or Neil. Doesn't matter. And then I'm going to have... You know Tom? Tom is? one of their friends, Tom. Maybe you've not met him yet. You probably have. He's gonna be on the podcast eventually too. He's really nice.
Shout out to Tom. I don't know you, but maybe I do. Dude, sometimes I meet people and I
Yeah.
just forget.
I get that all the time. There's a dude that came up to me last night around my arm. He's like, "What's up, man?" I'm like, "I have no idea who you are." And like we were talking like on the way because I went to go pick you up and then come back, and then like I told you like I have a bad memory or short-term memory. I'm like, dude, if I don't meet you like a couple of times, then I
Or if we don't have like a really lasting conversation.
Yeah, like the first conversation. Yeah, that can definitely.
If we have like a good
change
conversation,
the
but if you
curve.
said what's up to me like once, like a year ago, I'm not gonna remember you.
Yeah, because I remember Sammy from 3LH. He always told me like, "Oh, what's up, man? Hi." And then it wasn't until like Sammy. You don't know who Sammy is from 3LH? Is their buddy?
Oh, I thought you meant like a member in 3LH.
Oh,
I was like,
no. Like, it took me like 5 meetings until I actually talked to him.
mm-hmm.
But we always said hi to each other, and that was it. That was as deep as it got. But then Sammy's also an easy name to remember for me. But regardless, it wasn't like till later on. Dude, you throw shows. These are awesome shows. And I was like, and then we talked about it. And then he's like, I think he used to do shows too, but he doesn't really do them anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, that's awesome. Let's get into some more topics, man. You ready?
no, but yes.
No, but yes. So we only got one more song left. So I think we'll be able to talk and then do the song and then talk a little bit more, and then we're done. That's it. See, it's going by pretty fast.
It really is.
Yep. So we're gonna talk about high school because you just met my parents real
Yes.
quick, and they went to go and they went to my family in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, and then Chicago. And they brought my uncle with them because he lives in Arkansas too. They picked him up and took him. And what was a cool post, which I think is kind of related to this topic, is that he said like when he was a young kid, I think it was 13 when in the post that he said, and he remembered going to this house which they visited, which was my great uncle's daughter or something like that. I don't remember the relation, but how he learned how to play guitar in this house, like the specific house. I'm like because he was a really big into music. He got he got signed to a band and whatnot, and unfortunately it didn't work out, like obviously, because I would be like, oh, I would show off. I still show him off because he's a great guitar player. I'll show you some videos maybe after this, and like how you learn guitar, and like you remember that spot. So do you remember that time and place where you learned how to play or really started to learn how to play guitar? Because
No.
like this is because you said like
Kind
high
of.
school and like learning guitar in high school. Like was that what like the first time
So
you picked up a guitar, or was it younger? You were younger.
So when my dad's very into music,
Mm-hmm. This is
growing
true.
up, we would like growing up I wouldn't listen to like kids music or watch like Disney movies. Like I was talking to my dad about this. Me and my brother were super into Kiss.
Yeah.
Like
me
that
too.
was like really.
Yeah, that was like the first band I obsessed about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Just because of the makeup, honestly. But yeah.
Yeah, it's an easy band when you're a kid to get into because it looks cool and like they're such rock stars. Like they're such rock stars, in the sense that they're freaking like.
My mom hates Gene Simmons though, but it's
Oh, I do too. It's all good. Like growing up, you kind of learn that there's really shitty people, but when you're a kid, they're like the coolest people ever. So growing up, like Jacob and I would always watch this. It was called Kiss My Ass, and it was basically kind of like not a documentary, but kind of like a video of them showing little rarities and little things that no one had really seen before.
At the time.
And at the time, this is like 20 years ago now.
That's more than 20 years, I think.
Like when it came
30.
out.
Oh, when
But,
it came out, yeah.
When it came out, it was like 20 years ago. And we were like kids when we were watching it, so it was like 15 years ago. And yeah, we just watched all these, like we learned all these songs from them and always imitate them from the video. So we'd always have like toy guitars and stuff. But when I was like probably in middle school, I finally like started actually learning how to play the thing. And then high school came and I joined my first band. And that joining a band really helped me because like playing with other people, it's kind of like we never really played shows. Like we played a couple, but high school is where I started actually like really playing.
What was the first song you learned?
I want to say Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie.
Okay.
So it was like
Is it pretty easy to pick up and learn, or was it like a
My
curve?
dad taught me like the first 3 chords of it. I honestly never learned the whole song. I never took the time to do it, but like the first 3 chords, it's like a G, a D, and a C. And
Can you read sheet music at all?
I can read tablature, but I can't read sheet music.
I just find it fascinating how people like it's like the
I
self-learners
started
to do that,
being
and then
able
they can't
to
read music at all.
I started being able to like learn how to play by ear and like copy things. And for a little while, like I could play the riff, but I wasn't playing in like the right key or whatever. Like I would just play it. After my first band broke up is when I got really into Jay Retard.
I think you mentioned. I've heard of him, but you've mentioned. I've never heard of him before. You mentioned it.
He's my favorite artist, like ever. Like even if I'm not listening to him heavily at a time, like I'm always gonna consider him my favorite artist, just because all his records, he wrote all the parts, he recorded all the parts himself. Like the records are all him. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't know you could do that. I'm like, I could kind of play the drums, I could kind of do this, so I would
just learn.
I got an iPhone.
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
I got an iPhone, and you can get GarageBand on an iPhone. So I would just record like covers and like little songs, and that's how I really started to like write, learned how to write music, I guess, by
Because you have Space Voids, which you do on your own.
Yeah, that was actually first. That was before the Azmatics. So
Yeah.
I started doing that, and I would just record little demos and put them out, show them to my friends. I think like I kind of got okay at the guitar, and then like when I started writing songs, now I'm starting to actually take it more serious, and I want to learn more of the, like I want to learn how to like I don't solo very well. Like I want to learn how to solo better. Learn chords that are not just the. I keep touching the mic.
It's okay.
That are not just like the.
You're just more animated. That's okay.
That are more than just like the basic chords. You know what I mean? So I've
Mhm.
been trying to do that lately. I'm gonna start taking guitar lessons
Okay.
this week. This
That's
coming
good.
week. So
Because like I feel some people might think, okay, I'm never gonna get better at this, or like this is it for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
can't
like you're
really
not.
have,
But
yeah.
you're not doing that. Which
I
is good.
kind of like I don't know. I kind of feel like sometimes like I realize like I kind of watch myself as I learn things about myself, I guess. Like there was really a point where I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna get
Sorry.
any better. I think I'm coming down with something.
It's okay. I'm not gonna get sick.
Okay.
I have the greatest immune system ever, but it's okay.
Heard it here first, folks. Greatest immune system ever. What was I saying? Oh, so basically I catch myself when I'm like, wait, I can do this. Like I kind of would put myself down a lot, and now I'm trying to get in the mindset of I can do this. I could, like.
You say that a lot for sure.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I told you, dude, I fucking love your band. You're like, why do you love us? I remember like you're like, why do you like our band so much?
That's
I'm like,
our aesthetic, though.
Yeah.
We're the shittiest band on earth.
But like, yeah, you're starting to grow out. Like when I tell you like I listened to your record like over 20 times, you're like, I mean, doesn't that make you feel good, right?
It does.
Yeah. So I'm like, but that's because I genuinely like it. And like, I mean, I like it for different.
I
like,
think part of it is just the whole point of I try not to I honestly do appreciate when I see people listening to us and coming to the shows and all that. Like I really do appreciate that. The joke where we're the worst band in the world kind of comes from having the mindset of don't get cocky, because I've seen so many bands get like 2 fans that like obsess over them, and they're like, oh, we're the shit, we're the best band, we need to be paid, we need a $500 minimum, we need a, like, I just think you need to have a if you're in a band,
Like, be
and you
humble.
have be humble, especially to your like the people that are
at the shows.
and listening to you, because they're the ones who are gonna make or break you basically. Like I've seen so many people not be into a band just because they're dicks.
What I see that resembles when you talked about the NARS, Joy Noise, 3LH, and you guys.
Is we're all assholes.
No. That's you're the complete opposite. What, especially with the NARS, like when I really noticed, I'm like, those guys are.
The NARS are the
nice.
nicest people I've ever met.
Because the first time I really met John, I saw them at a show. I think at Beatnik's show for the first time, and when I met, he like said, "Hey, thank you for coming to the show." But it was like the next show after, like no one was there. It was just a last minute show, unfortunately. Will, who's actually working the sound, which is funny.
Oh.
And then he comes up to me, dude, thanks. Like, there's like no one here. Like, what? Like, thank you for coming and whatnot. And like, coming up and thanking me, and I saw you like lipping some of the songs too. I was like, dude, yeah, you guys are fucking awesome. But like stuff like that, and then you too, like I don't think bands get it like not to get big or to get more people to like them, but like if you're just nice and have that like that attitude of like appreciation.
A very good example of that is the Red Pears. Like when I first met the Red Pears, we were playing backyards together, like random little house shows, and like no one would be there. And now they're playing the Wiltern.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's awesome. Like sometimes I see bands, like I'm not gonna lie, I'll see a band that I played with personally, and they'll play like a 6 show and be like, they don't deserve that. Like they're dicks. Like they're legit. Like they don't. Like they feel like I don't know. But the Red Pears definitely deserve that because they've always given out free merch. They've always like talked to their fans and interacted. Like whenever someone tweets something at them, they always reply.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're just the nicest dudes, which I think I see that in like the NARS a lot too, where they're just the nicest dudes. NARS are gonna blow up 2019. I'm calling it right now.
They had that 6 show at Marty's where they opened for Sad Girls. Were like amazing. Like the crowd was like really into it.
I heard.
Yeah,
so I'm really happy for them. That's why I'm saying they're gonna blow up. They're gonna release the best record ever, and they're gonna blow up, and we're gonna be like, told you guys.
Well, I know. Like, how about like I'm not gonna bring up the Frights because I remember you telling me like you and Jacob used to see them and like how nice they were to you still, which is like a good thing. Because I feel when bands aren't like total dick, I'm like I don't understand why. How are you like this? I don't understand that. And how have you got? Maybe it's just like looks too. Is what I'm thinking. I don't know. Like some bands look prettier than others, I guess. So I'm not too sure if that gets them a little bit farther. But I don't know. It's just weird to like look at, I guess, and not like process it the right way and say like not saying like, oh, that's not fair over another band, but some bands do deserve a lot more credit than they usually do. But yeah.
Just don't be a dick to your fans.
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Don't be fake.
Don't be fake.
That could be a whole nother podcast.
Anyways, since we are talking about the NARS, let's talk about last night. The locker room show. I'm burping again. Jeez. We went to the locker room, or you came a little bit later.
Yeah, I came with Death Lens, and we all got home late from work. So
yeah,
I came home from school, they came home from work, so we all left, and we got there like right when Makeout Reef, Burnout Reef. Yes, Burnout Reef started, and unfortunately I missed the NARS and 3LH, but I've seen them before and I'll see them again.
Yeah.
But I did get to hang out with them, and that was fun. Yeah. I love seeing those guys. Like all those, I don't know. Those are my faves. Shout out to 3L NARS.
3L NARS. So the show was I thought that was pretty good. I missed the first band, so I got there right when the first band got off the stage.
Ended.
Because I think I had it been with you guys when I went there one time when you guys were playing there. It's a really nice venue too. Like it's a really neat setup and kind of smart how they put the lockers behind you guys.
It used to be literally a locker room for like a theater thing they did there.
Yeah.
From what I've been told. So they just kept some of the lockers and made it into a stage, which I like that place. Yeah. I like playing there.
It's a nice setup. And
it is.
Will's a nice gentleman too. He's the guy that does sound around Orange County.
He's one of the easier sound guys to work with.
Well, he has a nice setup too because he just has a tablet. And he works well. It seems like it works well. I don't see him ever have like kind of trouble with the with
yeah, we always. I think every time we played there, we've sounded pretty good.
Yeah.
So he does a good job.
And then obviously the first band, I forgot those Pretty Boys. I think that was the first band. Then the NARS went up right after them. It was a really good show. And then 3LH. Again, I've seen both of these bands so many times. So like it was a little bit warm in there. So for the beginning of the sets, I like stood in the crowd and then I was like, I need to go outside. The only one show like because I kind of went to go see Def Leppard because I've seen 3LH. I don't really get to see Def Leppard because they only really play in like LA or San Diego. Unfortunately, it's just the way it is. They just don't get booked down in Orange County a lot. And it's not that I don't want to drive to LA or San Diego, but I don't want to drive to LA or San Diego. But I think it would probably be cool to go see them down in San Diego one of these times. But I want to go see them.
I've seen them and I filled in for them in San Diego, and those are always like really fun shows. At least they were. I don't know how they are now. I haven't been in a while, but like those have been some of the most fun shows I've seen them at.
Yeah. So not to say like I didn't want to go because I just saw the Norris that week
Yeah.
and I'm like we hung out, saw them. I've seen them a ton of times and I've really enjoyed it. But I really want to see Def Leppard because I haven't seen them in a while, and I haven't seen them since they released the EP too.
Oh, so you haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, I had a show with them in July. I booked them for a show in July, like not this past July, but the July before that. That was the last time I saw them live, I believe, maybe.
Or was that at a program?
Yeah, that was a program.
I think I remember that.
Yeah.
I didn't go to that, but I remember.
And then
it.
it was a really good show. Unfortunately, we had to cut them short because just the time, the curfew and whatnot. But this one was like perfect. So like I got to see like them play all the newer songs and then the older songs too. And I really enjoy like their sound. And Brian's like really nice. He always anytime I
Brian is not nice at all.
I mean, to me he is.
No, he's not.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Well, anyways, anytime I always post anything like saying like
Brian's
this is an awesome
sweet.
show, and then he always sends hearts, which is nice. So it's like I'm not sure if he does that for everyone, but he does that for me for sure. But yeah, they're really nice.
They're awesome. I gotta give them credit. They're another reason why Jacob and I kind of figured out we could do this, cause we went to high school with them. Well, Brian was older than me, so like he had already graduated by the time I was in high school. But like Duke, Richie,
The bass player.
Duke's the bass player, best friend, brother, like my longest friend. Richie is the second drummer. They had another drummer before him, but like I've known Richie again for a really long time. I played with Richie.
He filled in for the NARS a couple times.
He did fill in for the NARS for a little while. But like their old lineup too, like their old guitar player I went to high school with, and I've known him forever. But those dudes kind of showed me like seeing them play shows and stuff. I'm like, oh, like there's a scene. Like they introduced me to like the I guess like the Burger Records, Lollipop Records, the Echo Park, LA, like all those bands and stuff like that. They all showed me that stuff. And that really drove me to be like, hey, like I could play shows. Like there's people that are into what I'm into doing this. So I'm like, why shouldn't I do it? So that's why Jacob and I were like, we should just do a band and we should try to play these shows. We didn't get to play with those bands because those bands were all bigger by the time.
Yeah.
But we kind of
you
joined our own
you were
scene.
part of OFN. For I don't know if you're is OFN
We
still
were.
around?
It's kind of shifted. It was like five bands, like 5 core bands, but it kind of. I would say now it's mainly like Deathlands and Former, kind of like it's more of a group of friends now than it is bands.
Yeah.
It's more like these people.
But I always thought like it was like weird how Brian got the connection down to San Diego. I want to have him on the podcast eventually too. That'd be cool. Like I just want to like know how the day he got the like how did he get down to San Diego with the Frights and them and then Bad Kids and Fake
from what
Tides?
I know, this is how I saw it. There was this legendary show back in 2014, 2015, one of those years, thrown by the great Natalie and Alex, who's Natalie Bonilla and Alex Gonzalez. Low and Slow. They're called Low and Slow. They throw shows in LA all the time still. Okay. But they threw this show called Zombie Warhorse Invasion. And it was in, where was it? It was Rad Pro Studios, the old Rad Pro. Do you know Rad Pro Studios? Rad Pro Studios is a dude. He rents gear out. He has a rehearsal space. They had it at the old spot, which was in like Chino Hills or something. I forgot where it was. Somewhere over there. And it was basically, we got there at noon and we left at like 3 a.m.
Damn.
And all these bands that are big bands now played before they were big. And they were all like, it was like Deathlands was on there. The Frights opened the thing. And no one watched the Frights. And like all I remember from the Frights performance is like, I'm like, oh, this band covered Sweater Song and they did a good job. That was cool. That was literally the first time I've ever heard like a Weezer cover live, and now I'm just kind of over it, obviously, because everyone does it. But they did Sweater Song. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Corners played, who are one of my favorite bands, who are no longer together. Mystic Braves. Do you like Mystic Braves?
Dude, like you're telling me these bands, I have no idea who they are. I only know who like Deathlands and Frights are.
Mystic Braves played back when they were Blackfeet Braves before they got sued.
Okay.
For their name.
They got sued.
There's like some old band called Blackfoot or something like
okay.
that,
That's
and
dope.
they had to change their name. But all these bands that you don't know,
Well, no, that's
but,
why. This is why we're having a conversation because I'm like
they've all had success.
Yeah.
After this, Deathlands, and also do you know Musty Boys?
no.
Musty Boys is like they tour manage. Do you know Kuko? They
Dude,
tour manage.
You're hitting me with like stuff I don't know. This is why you're
They tour manage
I need
Kuko
context.
right now.
okay.
But they were there and they were taking. I thought they were a hired photography team that was
Uh-huh.
at the show, and then, like I see them like pounding beers and like I'm like, what the fuck is going on? They're like, oh, we're Musty Boys. Like we take pictures and videos, and now they tour manage. Like, bands and
Oh,
stuff
okay,
like
okay,
that.
that's cool.
But at the time, they were just like dudes who showed up to shows and would take pictures and
Okay.
video and document them. So all these people that played this show kind of went on to success, but that's around the time Musty Boys, the Frights, and Deathlands became friends.
Uh-huh.
And Deathlands and the Frights started playing. Like the Frights needed to get shows up here, so Deathlands would help them out.
Yeah, and then
And
they do
then
the opposite.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of how Deathlands got their foot in the door in San Diego, because the Frights were so popular or still are probably, were so popular in San Diego, and Deathlands at the time was like their buddy band, and they did that split together. So they just have a good crowd in San Diego, and then just from playing San Diego so often, they made friends. And
Yeah.
feel
I
like I'm
want to hear
rambling on.
like I just want to hear like Brian's like maybe I don't know, maybe he's like I don't remember, but like it's okay. But if ever
That's how I saw it.
comes
That's
out
how
of
I kind of witnessed it
Yeah.
happen, because they weren't really playing San Diego as often. When I first saw them, they were playing in LA a lot.
yeah, well because that's where they're from, so that makes sense. But yeah, that was cool. We went like into a really cool deep dive. You went to like some stuff I've like some people someone's gonna
Corners-
watch this or hear this and they're
Corners,
like,
Max.
dude, I love that band too.
Corners,
like
Maxed Out on Distractions. Listen to that record, please.
Okay,
It's one of my favorite records
Is it
ever.
spelled weird or anything like
No,
that?
it's Corner.
Or
It's just
Corner, okay.
Corners. Look up Corners, Maxed Out on Distractions.
Okay.
That record is great. The first record is really great too. It's called Beyond Way, and they're very different in style, but one of my favorite bands. They're awesome.
Do you when you go to like the record store, do you find records that you never like the band like you told me like you listen to music that like people don't make music anymore or they just don't they're not around?
All my favorite bands are dead or broken up.
Yes. Well, I found this really after this I'll show you this cool record I found at the record store. It's actually a hand painted like cover. That's the only reason why I bought it, and then I listened to it. They're from like San Dimas, I think. It doesn't sound like I don't know. It just sounds weird. I don't get it, but it's cool to like have, I guess, because of the art, and then also like this band's never around. But one really cool record I have is my stepdad's has a coworker who's from Germany, and he was in a band back in the day in like the late 90s, and he I think I've told you this story. Maybe you just don't remember. But they recorded a record in an old Nazi bunker, and he had like a couple extra vinyl just from the old times. And my stepdad always talks about me, I guess, at work. And then I guess something got brought up about vinyl, like, oh yeah, you listen to vinyl, and like, oh, give your son this, and it's a I didn't know they made like white records back in the day, but I guess they did some of them. But it was a white record from like '89 or something like that, '87 maybe.
Dang.
And it sounds really sick. Like, and I don't
like what kind of music is it?
It's like metal probably.
Okay.
I'll show you after this.
Okay.
But it's really neat to see stuff like that, and like they're not around, but like it's like cool to like having like the story behind it and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like the oh yeah, we recorded this in a Nazi bunker. An old. I was like, what the fuck? That's insane.
I love collecting records. Like I have a problem. Like I've spent way too much money on it. Like, and I don't even have that many kind of like I guess I kind of have a lot. I have like 200 maybe.
Okay.
So it's like a decent.
I think I probably
Most of them are like.
right behind the guitar. That's like the whole thing is full of records right there.
I have a lot of 7-inches.
Oh,
Those are my favorite to get.
you get interesting stuff on there.
Cause yeah, I usually get.
What you need to do is go back east or go back down like to southeast. There's people don't even know what they have out there. They have no idea.
There's a website.
It's not that I'm trying to rip people off. But
Yeah,
I'm like,
but they don't.
I'm like,
get you.
I think when I bought a couple records out there, I gave them a little bit more money than what I should have, or what you like.
what they wanted.
I guess.
Yeah.
But like, I found an old Ink Spot record, and I was like, I can never find that stuff out here. And I was like, oh my god, it's Ink Spot. And then like, I saw how much. I was like, okay. I'll throw in a couple extra more bucks in there, and I was like, thank God. And I found this cool Elton John Lennon like 7-inch. It's really cool.
I have who is it? Stevie Wonder and Paul McCartney.
See, yeah, those like weird calm.
Ebony and Ivory.
I
That
think
song.
I've heard that song.
You've probably
I've
heard
never
that
heard
song.
of that song. I just like
I
can't
found it.
remember lyrics,
I found an
honestly.
Amoeba ones for like $2. Like songs like that where it's like a really big hit song, and if I could find on a record, usually they're like $2 because they made like 1 million of them. So you can find them for pretty cheap if you find them. And I like to grab stuff like that. I used to have, do you know that song 8675309? I used to have that one, but I think I gave it away to a friend.
Who's that sings? Who sings that?
See, I don't even know. I
I
don't-
think REM? No.
That's not REM. It's not.
No.
I think they're like a one-hit wonder kind of band. I think.
Yeah. Oh, I know what the song you're talking about though.
Yeah.
I bought like a Billy Idol song because I just wanted to get dancing by myself.
Oh, you have
That's-
that?
Yeah, I was like,
That's a great song.
I
I want the Generation X one.
okay. I
Like
just
the
like
OG.
I just want this song. Like, he had like there's a record store by Beatnik, that's not Beatnik, but there's one down the street. I think it closed down unfortunately, but that's where I actually got like most of my records, like the older stuff I have. Like I got like a Talking Heads one.
Oh, nice.
I got some other stuff. I'll show you.
Yeah, I kind of like. I feel like sometimes when you collect records, people expect you to have certain albums. Like, you don't have a copy of Dark Side of the Moon, or you don't have like this Led Zeppelin record. Like, I'd rather. Not that they're bad records, but
I don't
like,
listen to that
I don't
stuff.
listen to it either. Like,
Like-
I'm not a huge Led Zeppelin fan at all. And then like Pink Floyd, I like Pink Floyd, but like there are a lot of bands I'd rather put time in it. And it's more fun to like look for something. Like I remember one time there's a record store in Lavelle, it's in Lavelle's. It's in Uptown Whittier called Lavelle's. And I was just digging through the random 7-inches they had. And I was getting kind of bored, so I was going to stop. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to give it one more look. So I gave it one more look. I find a 7-inch by a band called Mrs. Magician. I love this band. And they like it's hard to find their stuff because like everything's been pretty limited. And like I've never found something I wanted that much just from digging. So that was a really good feeling. Like I found it for like $5. Excuse me. And stuff like that. Like I love digging through the crates they have at like record stores and finding stuff. Like I went to Permanent Records in LA, found oh, that was a good day. I found a bunch of records I really liked. I found a record by a band called the Magic Kids. They're from Memphis, Tennessee. They're not, I don't think they're around anymore,
okay.
but I found their record for a couple bucks. I found a Hunks and His Punks record. You know them? It's a gay punk band.
Gay punk band?
Yeah, the dude's gay, and then there's like his band's all girls.
Okay.
And they're just.
I think they're just
Do you
a
know
punk
Shannon the
band.
Clams? Do you know Shannon and the Clams?
No.
You don't know anything, Richard. God.
Dude, I can show you a bunch of bands that you don't know.
I
either.
probably don't. Dude, Inkblot, I don't know who that is.
Have you ever played Fallout?
No.
You ever heard of the game Fallout?
I've heard of it.
There's I believe they do the intro song like when they re-released that or when they rebooted that game. Like I don't want to set the world on fire.
Okay.
And they sing that, and like there's I got into them just because of that video game, and then I started listening to them outside the video game too, and like listened to older records. And I thought it was a woman, but it's actually a dude that just has a really high pitched voice.
That's like that one band. That it's like an emo band. What is it? Circus Survive.
Yeah,
Like
in a way, yeah. I get what you're saying.
Where was I though? But just like coming up on records from bands.
I think because you're more into like
garage rock.
Yeah, garage rock and punk music that I
Yeah.
just like. Punk music is like the best music to like listen to on vinyl. First off,
It really is.
but like for me, like growing up, my mom is the person that kind of like showed me music. Like Kiss was like the band like she kind of showed me, and then there's other stuff that she'll sprinkle in, like Faith No More is like a band she introduced me to, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell is this stuff? They made this back in the day? What, Mom? why have you not been showing me this music? And then just like older stuff like the Beatles, like obviously just because of her, I wouldn't have ever listened to it if it was my dad. So because my dad's like into like Hall & Oates, like Earth, Wind and Fire, and what was it? I can't remember the band.
There's a lot of
But, like,
kids
it's
that
just
are
weird
like
stuff.
into stuff like that.
Yeah. But I wouldn't have been in Kiss. I made a whole I had a cool student project where I had to make a map of a thing I liked, and I made it off of Kiss.
Oh, that's
And,
awesome.
Like you did landmarks, and I would name them after songs. I don't remember I
Detroit
don't,
Rock City.
yeah, I would do that, but like I
Um,
have a terrible memory, like I told you. Like I can't remember any like Kiss songs, like the name of it, but I can
Mhm.
like you just put it on. I'm like I'll start to kind of sing it. But my mom is like the weirdest. It's the weirdest thing. She could put a song on, you never heard it before, but this lady knows like every song made from like 60 to like 89 or something like that. It's insane. Her memory on like music, and she can like sing word for word. Like you just put it on the classic station, and she'll like, how the hell do you know this song? It's like weird, but it's like us in a way, because like when our kids, or you know, if you want to have kids, like when you put something on and like you know it, but like your kid's like, how the hell do you know that? I've never heard of this before. It's like weird to have that kind of like moment with your parents, and like that's what I have like a lot with my mom.
I get you. My dad and my mom, but mostly like my dad would show us like bands you wouldn't think your parents would be showing you, like Hunks and His Punks. Like this dude's very flamboyant and very sexual, and very gay.
I think I've heard of him.
You probably have. He's very
Sounds
like
familiar.
you wouldn't think your dad would be showing his 2 teenage sons at the time, like this crazy dude.
Dude, my mom got me into Slipknot.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dude, my mom was
That's
like,
another band I love.
like our family band is Korn, even though it's like that's like what we grew up like. My mom, she always like liked rock music, and when Korn was starting out, she was like right there from day one.
Dang.
Same thing with Slipknot when they kind of broke through into like when they finally got to California through that music. She was like on that shit,
Dude, they're great. I
Yeah.
love Slipknot. Oh.
which is like crazy when you think about it. Like
I go to school in Hollywood, and I was waiting to get picked up yesterday, and there's a Starbucks right there, and I swear to God I saw Jay Weinberg, who is the current drummer for Slipknot,
yeah,
in that Starbucks. But I didn't want to be annoying and be like, "Are you Jay Weinberg?" But I'm
Well,
pretty sure that was Jay Weinberg.
LA is kind of weird though. Like you have more of an opportunity to see people. It's like versus here. Like I know Rafa's met what's his name from Green Day?
Oh, Trey Cole.
Trey Cole. There you go. From and then meeting people like that. It's like very rare down here. But it's
I've
mostly
never
up there.
really ran into like a celebrity on the street, but one time I did. My dad took us to the beach, and we met Dick Dale,
Dick Dale.
legendary surf rock guitar player.
Okay, isn't he from?
California, Southern. I don't know.
No. What
exactly.
band? What band?
No, Dick Dale. It's
This
Dick
is
Dale.
him.
It's just Dick Dale.
That just sounds familiar. It's not like something like it's like kind of like the Beach Boys or something like that. No, damn.
He's just Dick Dale.
Well, you know more about music than I do, anyways.
I mean, he may have been in a band, but I'm pretty sure he's known for just being himself.
He probably wasn't.
One of the things he's really known for is he's left-handed,
Mhm.
and when he was learning how to play guitar, no one told him to flip the strings, so he basically plays the
Oh,
guitar upside down.
That's sick. I've heard of people doing that. Okay, maybe that's why I heard of it.
Yeah, his songs like I want to say he did Wipeout. I could be wrong though.
Okay. I gotcha.
Or no, it's the Ventures. I don't know. He has like really pop. I don't know. All these surf songs and the bands, I always get them confused who played what. But he's pretty legendary.
Yeah, I've been getting into weirder stuff through the Blues Brothers music.
Like
Yeah.
what do you mean?
There's a singer that sings a weird song, and then I got into his back catalog because I was like, "Who's this guy?" It's like the end of the movie where I forgot Minnie the Moocha. I think that's what the song is called. And he goes through, and I was like, "This guy's old. He has to have music." The Blues Brothers had to put him on for some reason. And I go back into like, he was like doing stuff like in the 50s and stuff, and I was like, "Whoa, dude, this is crazy." And I went to like his catalog of stuff. I don't know. And then just some of the stuff they've like covered, because they do like I have like their soundtrack, and then I've listened to like the live record, and like they cover a lot of bands, and I go through and like listen to other stuff like that through them. So like I like doing that kind of stuff. I do that with Blink-182 too, because you know I'm the biggest Blink-182 fan. And
So like you just look for references that these bands make, and that's that's actually like that's like the best way to get into music. Like, the reason my dad knows about found out about like the Stooges and New York Dolls and things like that is because like Nirvana would reference them in interviews. So like Nirvana is very responsible for kind of bringing back these old 70s, 60s, and 80s punk bands.
because I was listening to like All. I don't know if you heard of All before.
All
Yeah.
from the Descendants other band.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. The Descendants, obviously, and then what are they called? Fugazi.
Oh, dude, Fugazi's great.
Yeah, and I was talking about to Jeff about this. I was like, dude, I found this band called Fugazi. He's like, you barely found them? I was like, thanks, Jeff. Then there's some other bands in there that I found through like just like the influences, and then I got back into Smashing Pumpkins because of my favorite band, Foals, and the singer always referenced them, like just like I remember when I was a little lad and me and my mates got Melancholy, and then we just listened to it. But like that's not his like accent. But anyways,
I get what you're going for.
and then he would talk about other stuff and like talk about math rock and stuff. And I was like, what the fuck? This is cool. And they're right there actually, right above you.
I was wondering who that was.
Yeah, that little like I got the $80 version of that.
Are those all records?
No, they're just like they gave us, or they put that in there like a limited, I guess. And then the little Polaroid is like a custom one that
It's an actual Polaroid.
like when they went to go record, they just made Polaroids and then they numbered them out to like, and that's like a specific one that they took, I guess.
That's
At
really cool.
because they recorded in like France or something like that. So I was like, this is sick. But yeah,
That's always the most fun thing to do. Another record that came out this year that kind of reminded me of was is Ghost.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got Ghost.
Yeah.
Fan.
I haven't like listened to
they-
them because I remember you said, Richard, you need to listen to Ghost. I haven't
That's how I
downloaded it. I
said
just
it.
like
I really like that band, and earlier this year, they're anonymous. Like they don't. I mean, now you kind of know who they are. You know the singer is at least because he's the main guy. Earlier this year, they did a very special, intimate acoustic performance where they came out dressed up, did an acoustic performance. Then we listened to their new record a month before it came out, from start to finish. Then he did an interview live, like in front of us, on a stage without the
Makeup or the mask?
the mask. Yeah, so that was
Well, he wears like a mask and then there's makeup on the bottom, right?
saw a mask.
Doesn't he wear makeup like under like like on his neck?
No,
'Cause
it's
that's what
it's-
like I know like the guys from Slipknot, they wear like black on their like they put like like black stuff on their necks, so it kind of like makes it look like they have a floating head.
his eyes,
Okay.
but
Kinda like Batman.
it's mostly a mask.
Okay.
It's like covers. He puts makeup on the mask.
Okay, that's probably why I'm getting.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to. I like when bands do special stuff.
That's
Excuse
sick.
me. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get to the last song and then we're gonna talk a little bit more and then we're done. That's it.
Benito.
We went to a cool rant there. We went to like the coolest black hole ever. All right, last song. It's one of our buddies' bands, and the gentleman that I had on the last episode, Jeff Bowler. This is his band.
Foo
but
Fighters with Everlong.
This is Green Day. No, just kidding. Go ahead and check out the last podcast. And then check
That
out
was
what we
actually
talked
really
about them.
interesting. I listened to that the day the day you uploaded it, and it was really fun to listen to. Made me excited to do this.
Yes. And this is his band where we're going to promote. And then remember that they're having a EP release show November 2nd. This is Joy Noise with
Joe knows.
On My Way Out. Enjoy.
I can barely hear the screams, 'cause the sins, they control me. I'm a narcissist fit and inherited rich. I'm a snaky little son of a bitch. And I can tell you how I feel, don't necessarily mean it's real. I've got no more appeal to steal. I'm on my way. I'm on my way out.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. That was Joy Noise. On my way. I was kind of in that music. I'm in like the back of that music video. Just to let you
Richard
know.
starred in the video.
I wasn't a star, but
Richard was the star.
Ricardo's in it. MD is in it.
You see Rafa a lot.
Rafa's in it because he was like in
front.
the like the good part of like where the camera guy was when I was looking at it. I was like, oh, okay, that's actually I would be right there too if I was a camera guy because like I'm like a camera person. Fabian was technically there, but he didn't show up until after we were done shooting, which is funny. And then who else was there? I don't think
Koch was there.
Maybe Dylan was there.
I love Dylan.
I don't remember if Dylan was there. But I think that was it that I can remember off the top of my head. But that was a fun day. That was a really fun day. It was like really weird how it all was set up, and I got free pizza and beer. It was awesome. It was the best part.
Sounds like a good time.
It was a good time. Oh,
Koch
I
is
think
always
Sammy was there. Sammy was there, I think. Oh, sorry. I had a brain fart. Sorry to interrupt you.
We were talking about this earlier. You just blurt stuff out.
We were on the way. I'm sorry. Yeah, so we're going to get into my fun question that's going to be reoccurring on each podcast. And it's the one I asked Jeff. Like I said in the last one, we're not fantasizing or talking about killing kids or anything like that or hurting kids. It's a hypothetical. It's a fun question to ask. It's the thing you think about in video games when you slap things around. You don't need in video games. So my question to you is, how many kids could you kill if they were all surrounded you like a swarm of zombies? How many do you think you'd take out? They're about 7, 8 years old. How many do you think you could take out?
All of them.
No, there's an infinite amount. You're going to die. You don't get to survive this simulation. How many do you think you can physically
All of them and then kill
snap
myself?
their neck or like break their spine?
No, probably not that many. I'm not very physical. I'm not very physically fit.
So with your
Not
bare
very-
hands, how many?
I mean, maybe a few.
Okay, a few.
Like, I don't know, like...
Say if you had a guitar as a weapon, you think it'd take more out?
No,
No.
because then they would probably take the guitar from me.
Oh, okay.
I'd be like, no.
So,
Maybe
like-
if I had the strings, I could, the guitar strings. I feel like guitar strings are probably more deadly than the...
Yeah, because you can
Guitar.
slap that around and then
you
it's...
can get their necks.
But you gotta do one by one.
I'm gonna give you a number right now.
Okay, give
the
me a
number I'm going to say is 8.
8. Okay.
8 of them.
That is more than... I think Jeff said 7. So you got more.
Yeah. So fuck you, Jeff. I got one more.
But I think he said realistically probably 3. I was like, oh, okay. But
Realistically, probably none. I'd feel bad. I'd be like, oh, I don't know. I'd cry. I'd be like, I don't want to kill you, but you're killing me. I'm an emotional person.
All right. So we're going to get into the last topic. And it's I think we covered everything that you sent me. I mean, we talked about the Azmatics in the beginning. So that's fine. We already talked about that. But we're going to talk about being 22 and like how life is going at the moment. And you said that we're having a pretty good year.
I am having a pretty good year. Last year I made a lot of changes. Like, just stopped talking to certain people, started talking more to other people. My girlfriend made a very positive impact on me. She kind of...
I see it on Instagram. Look, guys, this is my beautiful girlfriend. Isn't she so pretty?
Hey, she is beautiful. She is pretty.
I'm saying I'm talking like I'm speaking in captions.
Hi, Stephanie. Love you. No, yeah, I'm very into this girl. She's great. But she's just kind of like, she's very positive and very supportive, and she kind of showed me like, hey, like, get off your ass, do something. I'm like, okay. So now I'm going to school. I'm learning how to build guitars and maintenance guitars, and trying to take my band a little more serious. Sometimes it gets hard when life gets in the way, when everyone's got jobs and school.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. She just she showed me like, if you have a good work ethic, you can get a lot done. And yeah, that's been just trying to take care of myself a little more. Try to be more positive. I hate being that guy like, you need to have positive mental. What is it? Positive minds. I don't know.
Positive mindset.
Yeah, I get really annoyed of those type of dudes who are like, yeah, like just I radiate positivity. I feel your vibes, man. Like, I get it, but like, I don't know. I don't like people telling me what to do.
Yeah.
So I get kind of annoyed at that.
Mm.
But it's true. Positive mental attitude, is that PMA? That's a thing. Yeah, just trying to.
When you started to go out with her, I've definitely noticed that. Well, obviously,
Everyone said I seemed so much happier. I was depressed as fuck for like a while.
Well, no, like how you said like a good work ethic, and how.
And I'm not saying like get a girlfriend, it'll change your life, they'll make you happy. Like, no, I don't think it's that. I think it's more of realizing that I need to make myself happy first. Yeah. And then you could really
impact people around you.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm going off of from that. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm happy because I'm in a good relationship. I'm happy because I'm doing things and trying to
first.
Like, yeah, be a little selfish, people. Be selfish.
But yeah, no, it's because how you guys were working on the record, and then when she was kind of like helping you guys promote stuff too, I think it's trying to like drive you like, oh wait, we should do this. Yeah, this is a smart idea. Yeah, I definitely saw like more of a not an urgency, but something like you have like a little bit more kick in your step.
We put more effort into what we're doing right now. I feel like we're not putting a lot of effort into what we're doing, but we're
so busy.
But Jacob and I talk a lot about like things we're gonna be doing. We've been trying to get 2019 in the works right now. So, but yeah.
Is there like a new record or a new EP you're gonna be looking forward?
3
to?
records next. I'm just kidding. We're not gonna do 3. We're not gonna do 3 records. Where there's talk of doing another release, either by the end of this year or early next year. Okay. But we have some songs. We don't have anything set yet.
Is it stuff that you've already played, or just like totally brand new stuff?
You haven't seen us in a minute, so you probably haven't heard we have some new songs.
Yeah, I haven't seen you guys play since the last Locker Room show, I think.
Oh,
what's the band? Something Girl. Jeez, I forgot the band's name.
It was Dog Party?
No.
You didn't go to that one.
I think they played that show, but it was the last band that played that.
Dog Party was the headliner of that the last time we played Locker Room.
Dog Party?
But Jacob wasn't there. Jacob had to work, and we got the counterminds to fill in.
It was a different band. Oh, man. What are they called? Not Quiet Girl. That's a different band. Oh, my goodness. I'm having a brain fart right now. It's Melissa.
Aquadolls.
Aquadolls. There you go.
Oh, that was a while ago.
Yeah, I think that maybe
they don't even have girl in their name. They're just girls.
Did you guys play in that? No?
We did. We have played with. It was like Greening Ghosts.
You just played like twice there with them, right?
We have played there twice. Actually, yeah. Last time we played there, it was Greening Ghosts. Who was after Greening Ghosts? It was Greening Ghosts.
Because that was a Scatterbrain. I was hanging out with Scatterbrain guys while we were there.
I'm pretty sure it was a Dog Party show. Because I remember seeing Scatterbrain guys there.
Yeah, because I was taking pictures of everyone in the light randomly because I got my new phone.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think I have a portrait picture you took of me.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really nice picture of me, so I saved it.
Yeah.
It's a good picture. I haven't posted it, but I have it.
If you don't, if you can just keep that between us.
I'm pretty sure that was the last one, the Dog Party show. That was a really fun one.
Okay. They headlined?
They did headline.
I don't remember that.
There was a really creepy old dude in the audience filming all the bands except for the Azmatics. And you want to know why he didn't film the Azmatics?
Why?
We didn't have a girl in the band.
Oh.
This guy was creepy. Someone probably should have kicked him out.
Oh, I guess that's weird, yeah. I don't know.
He was really old and didn't say anything to anyone, but he was filming with like an old like VHS camera.
I think I remember this. Yeah.
It was weird. Was
weird.
it 4 bands? Was it just Grinning Ghosts? No, there was another one.
I thought Aquadolls headlined that show.
It was like a co-headline between Dog Party and Aquadolls.
Oh, okay. I think I left right after
I want to say there was another band because like I think we had a good spot. It was we played like third. It was like Grinning Ghosts, someone else, us, Aquadolls, Dog Party.
3LH didn't play that show.
They didn't. They played the next day with Dog Party.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yes.
But yeah.
That was a fun show though. We got a really good crowd reaction from that one, and Honestly, shout out to Michael M. Hate. Whenever he puts us on a show, he gives us a good spot. And lately, like, that's been helping. Like, the last show we played was a M. Hate show. And, like, I saw people I didn't know singing along to Pathetic. And I'm like...
I don't get why people like book like the out of town band or like the out of the area band first. I never understand that.
A lot of the times when bands are booking a show, which I'll admit, like, we're kind of guilty of it too. If they're booking the show, they want to give themselves the good spot.
Oh, I guess, but like for me,
so
I like when I book a show, I like obviously the headliner is like the biggest band.
Honestly, when you're playing a show, you don't want to play first and you don't want to play last.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
Because no one's showing up by the first band, and then everyone leaves by the last band. So you want to play like the second, third spot.
I guess. The crowd drawer I like pitting last because I know people are like, okay, we're gonna stay for them. The second to last band is always like I always try to pick like the out of the area band because like I'm trying to help them out, like coming in and having a good show and trying to represent and have them maybe get a couple of fans out of that. The second band is usually the third, usually the smallest band. Was I like doing, and then the opening band I like making the second bet, like the bigger band that has the second biggest draw, because I feel like people will come earlier, and like I've seen it work. I don't think that bands understand when I do that. I guess
no one wants to play first.
Yeah, well,
like, that's just the thing. Like no one wants to play.
When
first.
I had the Deflin show, it was Deflin's 3LH because like they were the small, like kind of not the smallest, but like they were. Oh no, it wasn't 3LH. It was
3LH played that, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, but I don't either 3LH or Fake Tides played third because I don't remember how I did it. I think I had Fake Tides third, and then 3LH was before them, and then I had the NARS since they were the biggest, like second biggest band after Deflin's because Deflin's had a lot of people that came to that show, so it was like kind of like a weird thing because like a lot of people showed up for the NARS, and that's what the thing was. It's like to get people in the door. Oh, now they're going to see 3LH. Oh, now they're going to see Fake Tides. And then they're going to see Fake Tides before Deflin's because people are going to come see Deflin's. So it was a good, like...
It was a good way to get people to stay.
I get you. To get in early and then to stay for the whole show. Because I feel like people don't do that, obviously. But that's because, like, they're not in a scene like I am. Because I go to shows and go to see shows. Like, someone asked me, like, why do you come to shows? I was like, it's fun. And I get invited.
Richard's scouting bands for above ground shows.
Well... Not really. Not last night. It wasn't really because I knew everyone.
Yeah, you knew everyone who played that.
Unfortunately, I missed the
opener.
The opener, and I think they took off already. I don't like it when like opening bands take off early too. I don't think that's a smart thing to do. You just need to go.
You know what I think is the most annoying thing in the world? When you're scheduled, like this happens just all the time. We'll get like the second or third slot, and we're always early, always like we're always there like before the show starts. Just it's just the best thing to do. It's courteous, it's easier to set up, you get to see all the bands. The first band will be like, oh, we're late, like can we play a different spot, like we're not gonna make it in time for our spot, and
then you get
and then we'll be like, oh, you guys are already here, do you want to just play first? And like that's happened to us, and it's like I guess like we don't really have a reason to say no because we're all there. But I forgot what show it was, but there was a time when band did that, and like, oh, like we're gonna be late, like can we play this spot instead? And they were like, nope. Like, wait, what? And they're like, no, you can't play. And the band's like, well, wait, we'll be there. And they're like, nope, like you can't play, you can't do that. And like, oh, damn. Cool. Which, if you're a band and you show up late on purpose, you're a dick.
Yeah, I don't understand that too. It just doesn't make any sense. It's just not professional.
It's not. Yeah. Like people are like, why aren't we big? Why aren't we playing these shows? Because you're acting like a fucking rock star before you're a rock star.
Yeah.
Like you gotta people don't understand you have to put work into it.
Like I think for this show, I got when I was talking to the guy from Midnight Softies, when I told him I went to one of the shows, it was a 3LH show, but I was like, oh, these cool bands that are there, and I've never seen Hurricanes play. I finally saw them play.
We were supposed to play with Hurricanes, and then like it was at Stay Gallery. Okay. And literally like right before we were gonna play, the cops came and shut it down.
Oh, dust.
And we didn't get to see Hurricanes.
Oh, that sucks. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was like, okay, I'm going to see Hurricanes. Valley Rats, never heard of. Midnight Softies, never heard of. So, okay, cool. I'm going to hang out with Ricardo, and then we're there too from Sex Sales. So hung out, and then I talked to him, and I was like, dude, I really like your band. Like, if you want to like put on a show, he's like, oh, we don't play that much, unfortunately. And I was like, okay, yeah, but like, I have shows like not all the time, but once a month. He's like, would you want to be down to play one of the shows? He's like, yeah, just like let us know. But like I think I was a little buzzed at this time, so I'm not too sure if this is exactly what he said. But he's like, yeah, as long as you put us first, we're fine. I was like, okay, I'm fine with that. I guess that makes sense. Okay, I'm fine. So that's why I have him going up first. I would have him go like later and down. I'd probably have him maybe Valley Rats open the show, but I guess since they wanted to go first, so it's like, okay, that works out for me in a way. But I don't know. Just the way I run shows is not similar to what other people do. But like I usually do that for a reason, and it usually works out, and people don't understand until after I do it.
You actually you've done a pretty good job as a promoter, I think. Like, you get people to your shows, and they're not always like the hugest turnouts, but I've been to some promoters don't get anyone at their show.
Yeah, I think it wasn't really bad. I had people there. The only it was the second show I had at Bridgetown. It was with the Captain's Son. I had them. What was that? The Love-Ins, and then I had a couple other bands. I don't remember who they were off the top of my head. But the problem was like each band like only had like 2 people that got to the show basically, unfortunately, and like maybe like one person from like that was like random. So it was kind of a dead room, because remember we had that one show there before with like the LHU guys, Joy Noise, and
Was it the Halloween one?
No, it was a different one at Bridgetown.
Oh, Bridgetown.
Yeah,
Bridgetown.
it was like a really good Bridgetown show that we had.
That was actually probably the best Bridgetown show I've ever played.
And then
I played there a lot.
well, I think because like that was like the first time like I got 3. Well, I don't know if 3LH played outside of like Orange County. They probably have, but like that was like the one I was like, I want to get you guys outside of Orange County, because like, I think you'll kill like in the Whittier, St. Gabriel area.
They covered a Green Day song, and I got so excited because it was like a song I really like. Oh, that was fun.
But yeah, that was a good show, because I think
Aerial View played that too, right?
no, that was a different one.
I thought it was us.
I didn't.
3LH, Aerial View.
I can't get into contact with their review. But yeah.
But I thought they played one of your shows.
No.
Wow, okay.
I think it was Leisure Life, or AKA Hardcore.
Was it that or maybe I'm getting confused then.
Both of them were pretty big. I think the Area View one was a little bit more packed.
Yeah.
But they were still pretty packed. I was like kind of surprised. I was like, damn, dude, we got a lot of people.
That was kind of a while ago.
Yeah. That was like
Yeah,
almost a
really?
year ago, I think.
Maybe almost 2 years now.
Or a year and a half, I think. Or something like that.
They still had their old guitar player. So.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It's kind of weird how to see the scene, how it really
Fluctuates and changes.
all the time. There's changes all there's
I
no
feel
new
like
band.
right now it's like at a dead point. Like, I mean, when I come to Orange County, I feel like it's a little more lively. But when I go to other places, like, I don't see anyone throwing shows around where I live anymore. Like, I'm from
Well, I think
Hacienda
Leisure
Heights.
Life is kind of like doing their own thing, but like they're
Mhm.
doing it more in a professional, so they don't do as many shows.
Mm-mm.
And then what
They're
was
not really doing as many house shows either.
Checkerboard? Does Checkerboard even do anything?
I don't think he doesn't do shows for sure anymore, but he's
Yeah.
been doing like photography, I think.
Yes.
I don't know.
So and then there's like a couple house shows that'll go here and there. I've gone up to like shows where like 3LH is playing or something like that, but I don't do that as much because they don't play up there as much. They're mostly like playing here or like San Diego now. And I guess maybe it's the LA scene where they just need a new set of kids that are coming through, I guess.
LA got weird, like all these, like the smell changed. The
Mhm.
smell was like the home base for LA pretty much. But then all these weird kids started playing, and like, I guess people would go to the shows. I wasn't into it, like, I don't know, but it seems like those bands kind of fizzled off really fast, and I guess there's still stuff at the smell. The smell's still there, but I don't see as many of at least this kind of music being played in LA. There's a lot of like punk and like electro kind of punk music. So a lot of synthesizers and like a lot of synthesizers with like kind of things, and then a lot of just like punk bands that are just like traditional like hardcore bands and stuff like that.
So I think with like last night, we had Burnout Reef. I've never heard of them at all
Me neither.
before last night, and I thought they were Makeout Reef, which is a different band.
So that's a different band.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a totally different band. because they're like homies with like the NARS. I was like, oh, cool, they're doing a show with the NARS. I haven't seen Make Out Reef in a while. I saw them at a program show with when Bloom was or when Joy Noise was Bloom like a while ago. And then I was like, oh, cool, I'll see them. It'd be awesome to see them, see what they're working on. But it was a Burnout Reef, and I was like, this is a whole set of different guys. I was like, but I think it's a lot of those kind of bands are coming out from
like surfy rock bands.
Yeah, like they're coming out specifically from like the Laguna or like the beachy kind of like Newport area. I think those kids are finally. It's like what there's always, for some reason, in Orange County, there's always like those one. I'm not gonna say white kids. But they just look
like white kids.
Yeah, but they just look different from like they're not from Santa Ana. They're not from like even from Huntington Beach. There's a certain look from Huntington Beach that you have, or from like the area just from here, I guess, or Garden Grove.
I know
like,
what you're talking about.
They just have that look on them, where like they're not clean or like that. I'm not trying to like make it sound like I'm racist or like that. Or just like they just look different, and I feel like through like the last 2 years in the scene, I've seen like one kid pop up and then two kid pop up. And then now there's just more of them. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. It's just like they're telling their friends, and then their friends are getting around, and then
it was kind of weird for me because like I'll go to shows and I'll be like, oh, like start talking to someone, and be like, oh, how old are you? They're like, oh, I'm like 15. I'm like, what the hell? Like you're so young. What are you doing here? But then I think about it, I'm like, oh, I was 15 going to shows, and like, damn, I'm old. No, I'm not. But like it's kind of weird that. Like these like 15, 16-year-olds, like, oh, it makes sense that you're here.
Yeah, I just hope like the connections between those kids make it with like the bands now, and it's good and whatnot, so it can kind of continue, and then it kind of I think it'll cycle back. I just don't think it
always does. There's always going to be a music scene, like there always has been.
Because like when I
think there always will be. It's just it'll be bigger and smaller at points.
Yeah, I think with like when I found out about the Venison, Sex Cells, or even like the NARS, I'm like with the areas they grew up in, like in Santa Ana, I was like, where were you when I was in high school? Or you know what I mean? Like,
well, you're older than all of it.
Well, no, I think I'm
actually no, you're not that much older.
Like the NARS, I'm closer in age with them, but I think
they're like a year older than me.
I'm a couple years older than the Sex Cell guys and the Venison guys. So I'm like, where were you guys?
Moms.
Moms too. Yeah, like I have no idea.
Moms are my age, I think.
Came out, so I'm just like kind of waiting for like the next set of bands, I guess, because it makes sense that there'll be more people coming through, I guess, through like the Santa Ana scene, which is like the stuff I really enjoy. And what's going on right now is like Sex Cells and the Venisons kind of have that sound, and the NARS, but then 3LH is kind of like the in between, because those guys are a little bit younger. They're just turning 21. And then now you have their connection through like the Hurricanes, like the Valley Rats guys, and then all of Enrique's. You know Enrique, right? Remember from Blue Bones? He does Broken Sons. He does those videos.
Oh yeah.
And then he's meeting all these cool bands that I've never even heard of, and now I'm like, whoa, dude! Like it's starting to grow, but like it's not growing with connections. I feel sometimes. So like I think. What he's doing over there with Broken Sons is kind of connecting bands
that wouldn't have been connected otherwise.
Yeah, because he's connected me through all these bands through there. I wouldn't have met some of those bands through him. And then I'm not gonna say like, oh, you would never met those, but for me, but I don't know, because I introduced you guys to Bloom, and I was like, you guys are gonna start making babies.
Richard, for those who don't know, Richard, we played a show, and Bloom showed up, Jeff and Koch. And then Richard's like, hey, come here. Why don't you meet someone? And he put us in front of Jeff and Koch. And he's like, okay, now talk. And he walked away. And then we literally had, like, the best conversation. It started off, like, somehow Green Day got brought up.
I was like, they like Green Day. You guys like this band. Jeff always likes them. And then I walked away. So, hey, talk. That's what it was.
Something like that. But the way I remember it was somehow, okay, I don't remember that. But I remember Green Day kind of got brought up, and then Koch was like, oh, they're cool, they're whatever. And then Jacob and I were like, oh, we like Green Day, like we actually listened to them. And at the end of that conversation, it ended with Koch naming every Green Day album in order, the year it was released from start to he named it from what's the first one? 39 Smooth.
Yeah.
And then all the way to whatever was out at the time, and I'm just like, this conversation took a huge turn, but it was awesome. Just going from him being like, yeah, they're cool, to I know all the albums. So it's just That's just a running joke now that Koch is the Green Day fanatic.
Yeah, and then you had that thing at the Fox Theater or something like that where you put like the projection up of a Green Day.
That was awesome.
I wasn't even
My
at that
friend,
show.
we made a point to put Bloom on. We got asked to play the Fox Theater. What is it called?
The little like.
What's the name of it? Little side stage.
Yeah, it's like it's not the rooftop, but it's a side stage.
No, it's a side stage, and I forgot the name of it. But we got asked to play there, and they're like, the guy who's putting it together, he's like, "Oh, do you know any other bands?" So I'm like, "Oh, Bloom," who is now Joy Noise, but at the time Bloom. So we got them to play, and my friend, my really close friend from high school, Brandon, was doing projections. He's like, "Oh, what do you want me to play for yours?" I'm like, "Oh, whatever, do this." He's like, "Okay, whatever." I'm like, "Hey, you do me a favor though." He's like, "What?" I'm like, "When Bloom plays, project Green Day videos over them." He's like, "I got you." And it was just like, oh, I felt kind of bad afterwards because I noticed you got Billy Joe on the screen, and Koch is kind of mimicking. He's like doing the same thing, not realizing that Billy Joe Armstrong is behind him on the projection. And I just like, that was like the best.
Jeff kind of plays like Trey a little bit. Sometimes if you're ever taking a video of him from the side, he does like little like
the little faces.
Yeah, the little faces that Trey does sometimes.
Which
So,
is, I mean, it's not like an on purpose thing. It's
Yeah.
I think we all kind of imitate our musical idols to a point. I just I felt kind of bad after that because I'm like, oh, I didn't expect that to like exactly mimic the movements. I'm like, sorry, Koch, but they were good sports about it. They only hated us for like a week after that. And we were fine.
What do you go like? Fuck you guys.
No, they weren't even mad about it.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No, I'm just kidding. They were just like, wow, fuck you guys. Like, that was like, they thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny because I saw it through like the stories on Instagram. As soon as I saw, is that Green Day?
I've never really
and then
like
I saw them play. I was like, oh my god.
I've never really like played pranks, but that was like the only time I've ever like played a prank.
It's a really good one. But anyways, that is it. This is all. We are done.
We're done.
I think this is actually a little bit longer, but it's okay. That's fine. We talked. That was like humans talking to each other, conversating. If you haven't already, go ahead and like the video and know that we're doing a YouTube version. And then we also do an audio version, which is available on SoundCloud.
Oh, can I do the YouTube thing? Okay, guys. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you want to see in the next video. Love you guys. Bye. That's a Shane Dawson thing. The camera's too far away.
Anyways, like I said, this is the audio versions are available on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play. And know that, like I said, we do audio and video version. The audio version goes up first, and then the video version will come up later. Also, thank you to Joseph.
Thank you, Joseph,
for coming on the show.
You're welcome, Richard.
And we will be doing another one next week, hopefully. And
next week.
I'll hopefully schedule one. Let us know again, like I said, if you want us to play a song, you want to be on the podcast, or do you want to promote one of your shows, go ahead and let us know.
This video, and if this video gets 100 likes, Richard will get Slayer on this show. He will. He told me. He's going to deny it right now, but he told me he will. So you have to listen to me, not him.
Anyways, that is all a lie. I have been the host, Richard Radillo.
Richard Radillo, Joseph Melendez, coming at you. Have a great night, folks.
All right, we'll see
or
you
day,
guys
whatever time it is.
in the next.
I won't see you in the
episode.
next video. This is my time in the sun.
Anyways, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.